My name's Josh. I hope you already know that. And I'm a working college student. I've been working at UPS for about a year and 9 months now. And I work about 25 hours a week. This significantly eats into my ability to study, my ability to hang out with friends, and keeps me really, really busy. The question you might be asking is, why exactly do I work this hard? As y'all already know, college is expensive. But the big takeaway I want to emphasize is college is pretty crazy expensive. See, no financial aid, and if you were born in the state of Georgia, Georgia Tech would cost, on average, $29,802. All the data I'm about to list is per Google data on the price of colleges. Now, if you're out of state, Georgia Tech is looking at $50,914. And to go to MIT, which is a college I'm sure many of you applied to, that's over $70,000. College is very, 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 very expensive, especially for the average young person. So, what are our options? Well, you can either do what I'm doing and work while in college, or you can take out a loan. Now, I very much dislike student loans. I think there's a terrible institution for young people to utilize just to be able to go to college. But let's not just take my word for it. Looking at the study, Student Attitudes Towards Debt by Emma Davis and Stephen Lee, they quantify student attitudes, giving them a score. And they look at student attitudes towards debt as freshmen versus towards senior year. And what's really interesting about this study is that as students utilize loans more, they become more appreciative of the loans. They appreciate the ability to borrow money to pay for their college, which is fine. The problem here is that they are essentially becoming numb to loans. This only encourages young people after graduating college to continue utilizing loans. So much credit and paying so much on credit can drastically hurt one's ability to be smart financially in their adulthood. Another study I want to bring up is What is the Problem with Student Debt by Marshall Steinbaum. In this study, as I kind of alluded to, he points out how students who leave college with debt start significantly behind where they could be using alternate motives, if you will. See, some students simply just go to trade school and are able to save some money. And some students go to college, take a loan, and then drop out. Tell me which one you would rather be. By taking loans and taking significant loans as a young person, we are crippling a young person's ability to go forward throughout their adulthood years. But to better understand why a student would take student loans, let's have an interview with my buddy Jack. So Jack, you have student loans. What's up with that?
Well, my parents said we're not paying at a dime for school, and I had 3 jobs in high school.
Wow. And was that all to save up for college?
Twofold. So
okay.
Part of that was buying a car, and then the rest of it was for college.
So just a lot of financial pressure on you.
Right, yeah.
More or less.
To provide. So to kind of, it wasn't a large loan. It was a lot smaller than traditional college loans, but just to cover a few of the gaps so I wasn't paying as much out of pocket. Yes, there was a student loan.
Got you. Now, for other kids, right? High school seniors probably going into college.
Sure.
Of course, you haven't paid off those loans yet. That's kind of the idea. You're in college currently.
Right.
But what advice would you give to seniors coming into college right now as far as loans? How do you feel knowing that you're gonna have to pay that off later?
I think personally that loans are awful. I hate being in debt. I hate owing someone else money. So I think my advice would be to work as hard as you can to, whether that's you or your parent. If your parents are paying for it, you're kind of set. That's really not an issue. But if you're paying for school or you have a portion that you have to pay for school, make sure you work hard to provide that, because loans are just compound interest, and being a young person in debt is just not a good way to be. So personally, my goal is to get out of college and have them paid off within 2 years.
Yeah, and going along with that, you think you get out of college, you get a great job, and then that first check, you can't quite just dedicate that to getting the house, to setting yourself up, You're going to have to immediately pay that off.
That's the plan, is to kind of live well below my means.
Immediately. So you already have to restrict yourself in the future.
Correct. That's the plan, to go ahead and pay those off early, get them paid off quick, because like I said, don't hate the idea of owing someone else money. And working for someone else, getting paid, and then that money going straight to someone else. It's just awful in my mind. So that's the goal.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. As Jack said in the interview, he would encourage high school seniors to work as hard as possible to pay for college. Well, that's essentially what I'm doing right now. So let's talk about my experience being a working college student. In the background, you are watching me work at UPS, the job I've been working for the past year and 9 months. While I also load trucks, this is me working as a pickoff, where I read the package labels and sort the packages as such via zip code. Now, it's a fine job, truthfully. There's great friends there, great coworkers who always bring energy, and it could be a lot worse. But the biggest reason I'm working at UPS is not for my coworkers. It's for the Earn and Learn scholarship, which is my fourth source, the Earn and Learn info at UPS, which entails a $5,250 per year tuition reimbursement with a $25,000 lifetime. This scholarship helps exponentially my ability to pay for college, especially a prestigious and, well, expensive college like Georgia Tech. However, as I alluded to earlier, this job takes 25 hours away of my week, which is a whole day gone just for work. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this eats into my ability to study, to hang out with friends, etc. My fifth source, AAUP organization, further this point. While they do concede that working while in college can benefit not only your finances but your grades, a statement I would agree with, they define beneficial work as 10 to 15 hours, preferably on campus. For myself and most other students, that is just not possible. And again, I am probably on the lucky end of this spectrum, only working 25 hours a week. AAUP goes on to identify that nearly 1 in 10 college students work over 35 hours a week, assumingly to pay for college. With the price of college so high, and loans being a bleak option, working seems to be the only way to effectively pay for college, albeit students will have to prepare to concede considerable hours to that work. Now, I say all this not to complain. Myself and all other Georgia Tech students should consider themselves very, very blessed to be at such a great, great school. Here, when you get a degree, you have countless job opportunities. And I know that the sacrifices I'm making now will open many doors on the back end. But for those who aren't sure that college is for them, who aren't sure that their degree isn't going to be worthwhile, strongly consider looking at alternate opportunities. Many of my coworkers at UPS do not have a college degree, and they still do fine for themselves, whether working in the warehouse or being truck drivers. Many of my closer friends throughout high school decided not to go to college and opted to go to a much more cost-effective option like trade school, which will allow them to get into an endless job opportunities, jobs that will never go out of demand. Loans can cripple a young student's ability and can hurt their future. But by being wise and knowing your own situation and doing the best for that situation can greatly help your future. As a society, we have a stigma that if you don't get a college degree, you're not smart. That is not true. You can be just as smart not going to college and not getting into crippling debt and still making a great future for yourself. Thank you for watching.